You're listening to 570 KLF, Dallas-Fort Worth, and 96.3 KSCS-FM, HD2, Fort Worth, Dallas, and News Talk 820 WBAP, Fort Worth, Dallas, and 93.3 WBAP-FM, Haltom City, Dallas-Fort Worth.
This was a disgrace. This was a rigged trial by a conflicted judge who was corrupt. It's a rigged trial, a disgrace. They wouldn't give us a venue change. We were at 5% or 6% in this district, in this area. This was a rigged, disgraceful trial. The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people. And they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here. You have a Soros-backed DA, and the whole thing, we didn't do a thing wrong. I'm a very innocent man, and it's okay. I'm fighting for our country. I'm fighting for our Constitution. Our whole country is being rigged right now. This was done by the Biden administration in order to wound or hurt an opponent, a political opponent. And I think it's just a disgrace. And we'll keep fighting. We'll fight till the end and we'll win because our country's gone to hell. We don't have the same country anymore. We have a divided mess. We're a nation in decline, serious decline. Millions and millions of people pouring into our country right now from prisons and from mental institutions, terrorists, and they're taking over our country. We have a country that's in big trouble. But this was a rigged decision right from day one with a conflicted judge who should have never been allowed to try this case, never. And we will fight for our Constitution. This is long from over. Thank you very much.
I am proud of our president. I love the way he handled this. I love his fist bump on the way out and on the way in at the Trump Tower. I could not be prouder of my president and happier. And look at the people coalescing around him tonight. Sequoia Capital's Sean McGuire just donated $300,000 to Trump's campaign. And he said, quote, I just donated $300,000 to President Trump. Timing isn't a coincidence. He's got, he's one of those expensive, billionaire investor heads. Mike Lee, I don't respect this verdict, nor should anyone else, in response to Governor Larry Hogan, a Republican from not Massachusetts, but Baltimore, or what is it? Can't think of Baltimore, Maryland. And Lee Zeldin said he just got $800,000 donation from somebody with President Trump's joint fundraising committee. Never experienced a massive ask that easy. $8? No. Oh, $800? No. $8,000? No. 800,000. Sure, no problem. Who do I write the check out to? All right. AOC is gloating. And I'll share what she says and what Hillary says. But first, let's go to your call. We have three lines open. Call in right now, 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Ken in Arlington, you're on 820 AM WBAP, or I should say News Talk 820 WBAP, Fort Worth, Dallas, and 93.3 WBAP FM, Haltom City, Dallas, Fort Worth, and 570 KLF, Fort Worth, Dallas. Fort Worth, and Dallas-Fort Worth, and 96.3 KSCS FM, HD2, Fort Worth, Dallas. Hi, Ken.
Hey, Chris, I think a couple would have found them not guilty, but I think they're afraid of a retaliation for them and their family.
I think you're exactly right, and that's what I've been saying, if you recall, nightly for a week or two, that the jurors will be they will be shamed at their job, they will be shamed in their neighborhood, they will be chased out of the neighborhood, they will be attacked and vilified. Can you imagine one person that would have stood up against this?
Oh yeah,
what would have happened?
It would have been a lynch mob,
rioting and attacking and lynch mob at his house. Like after St. George Floyd, blessed be his name, died from the drug overdose in the custody of Minneapolis police. Stuff like that. They showed up at the officer's house. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. And I think that the appeal is going to go in his favor.
I do, too, including at the New York State, but that's not going to happen until after January, and the election's in November, unless he gets a emergency appeal to Supreme Court, which he might, and in fact, the U.S. Supreme Court. And the idea would be the violations of his constitutional rights, which I believe they were violated, and I believe they will rule that way. But if they don't want to hear it, they might say they get afraid to step in certain ones. This one needs to be stepped in by the Supreme Court, though.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And I think, we're going to pay hell until this decision comes down with the appeal.
Wait, so we're going to pay hell?
Oh, yeah, because I think the Democrats are going to gloat and all that other stuff and everything else.
Oh.
And I think, for this next couple of months, Biden's going to do whatever he wants to do.
I don't think so. I think that they're answering victory. They're laughing. They're drunk on the decision tonight and will be for the next several days into the next week or two. And they get to say from now on, first thing is disgraced former President Trump, convicted felon, or they'll just say convicted felon President Trump. They're already doing it today and tonight. So, and Joe Biden's so happy. He's like, I finally got a point here on the board and I'm going to win now. But I don't think this is going to redound to his benefit overall. I really don't, but we don't know how this is going to play out, and we need to hope that it does play out in the right way. I appreciate your call, and I thank you very much. We have 3 lines open at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Hank in Harker Heights, you are on 570 KLIF Dallas Fort Worth and 96.3 FM KSCS HD2 Fort Worth Dallas, and News Talk 820 WBAP Fort Worth Dallas, and 93.3 WBAP FM Haltom City Dallas Fort Worth. Hey, Hank.
Super intro, Chris. But
yeah, powerful. I read the list of several stations.
So much.
Powerful.
Hey, you got it.
Yes.
You got the whole spiel down, right?
Mm-hmm. I can say it in Spanish too for our Spanish license, but go ahead, please.
Well, you can do that in Spanish too.
Sí, por supuesto, en vivo, Estéreo Mix.
Muy bien.
Gracias.
But.
Or I should say gracias. Go ahead, please.
The point is, thanks, Chris. But the point is that, the New York City jurors have rendered a verdict, be bad or good. But, that's what we got right now. We got a felony on Trump. And we've got, 2... what were the other consequential?
Well, 34 counts. It's really one count, repeated 34 times.
That's Mickey Mouse. But I'm talking about, we've got 2...
the other cases, you mean? The one in Florida, the documents, and the one in D.C.? You talking about those two?
Hell no. I'm going back to basically... what do you bring a president to impeachment?
Oh, yeah, the impeachments. Yeah,
right?
Just a continuation. That's all. They just keep kind of different new things. I got to roll, but make it quick. 10 seconds.
Yeah. Bottom line is that, this ain't going to make a bit of difference for, the body politic as they roll into, the elections.
I hope you're right. Stephen Irving, quickly, you're on 820 AM WBAP and 570 KLF Dallas Fort Worth and 96.3 at KSCS FM HD2 Fort Worth Dallas. And I got to say this way, News Talk 820 WBAP Fort Worth Dallas and 93.3 FM WBAP Haltom City Dallas Fort Worth. Hello, Steve in Irving.
Hey, Chris, man, I talked to you a couple of times since this trial started, and I talked to you on air and was about will he be convicted? And I told you that I believe he would be. There was a high probability. We talked twice about it. Now it's happened. And it's the same I told you so kind of thing. It's not that. It's just I can kind of see from my own point of view that kind of see what's going on. And I just want to say this, that I believe now Trump has reached martyr status.
Yes.
And it was really, really funny. Or it's not funny. None of this is really funny. But what's strange about it is 4 days before the RNC is his sentencing date. Yeah. So the Rhino National Convention.
Huge.
Rhino National Convention. Yeah. I mean, they don't want him either.
Well, I want to remind you of something, though. At the Rhino National Convention, it's the Trump party now. He has taken over our party, rightfully so. Laura Trump is the, the figurehead, the media spokesperson, I think is the title or whatever she is. She's the Ronald McDaniel, who was a rhino. She's now that role, which is great. And it's Trump's party. He is in charge of all. The guy that the head of the RNC came on today on Fox, and that's his pick, too. They're all his pick. So it's his party now, other than the rhinos that are beneath him, but he's running it.
You make it. I mean, you make a good point, but I see it like this: Trump is the people's president, Okay,
Yes, he's a populist.
The Republican Party's president, not the Republican Party's.
Right. The Republican Party is just a venue that he chose to run for president on. Go ahead.
He had to. I mean,
Yes.
he had to.
Yes, it's his channel. Yeah.
But anyway, I just wanted to make that point, man. That and I do believe he will be shackled up down in Mar-a-Lago and taken off the campaign trail.
I don't think so. I don't think so because he's not a prior offender. He has no record, and this is a nonviolent white collar offense. So I think he won't be. If he does, listen. If Judge Merchan, if he does that, he knows he's literally taking a Molotov cocktail and throwing it into a church with kids in it.
Chris, I agree with you. I want to make this point. Okay.
Yeah. One last thing. You absolutely no. It's all good. I'm just sharing my point. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And I'm right and you're not, but that's okay. Just kidding.
Okay, that's fine.
Just a joke. Right. Go ahead.
I know. Anyway, okay, they say this can't happen or won't happen or whatever, but he just got convicted on crimes that doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
And the ones that did are past due time, and they were federal crimes that were now he's been convicted on a state level by a DA. None of this is legal. None of this makes any sense. So for anybody to say that, no, they won't do what, hold him up in Mar-a-Lago and all that, under house arrest.
They could do house arrest.
See, I disagree.
Right. They could do that, but I think that he would turn it into a tremendous campaign event. And he did announce he's doing a he's doing a Trump Tower press conference tomorrow. He's doing a press conference tomorrow at Trump Tower, but they haven't announced the specifics as of the last time I saw it. So that's the good news. He's going to rock with this. He's probably writing his speech right now, and then he'll practice it 2 or 3 times, go to bed, practice it once, and then do it in the late morning or early afternoon. And it's going to be something else. It's going to be historic, and he's going to fill the bill for the times that we are in. He is I think that what was said in Fox News coverage of this after it started settling in the hour or two, they said, I think it was Turley, but he's like, this courthouse we're looking at is now a historic place. It's a historic place. A president's never been prosecuted before. I look at this man right now as he's walking, and I'm just in the video. I am so proud of him. And I am so happy how he responded and his posture and his demeanor. And this is the person that we needed this to happen to, because nobody can handle it like he can. And nobody is going to bring a freaking 5 million pound hammer down on these SOBs, and they're gonna wish they didn't do this. I really believe that, and I don't say that. Look, the leftists listening right now are like tickling, and they're like, they want you and me to be screaming mad, and I'm not reacting either way. By the way, they want me to react. I don't react based on them. I'm just telling you, this is their day, and they are going to dance, and I'm not going to discourage them or attack them for it unless it's like the media laughing at them or officials. But I will say this. They're going to rue the day. And I'm not saying it isn't, they're going to rue it. And I think this is going to put them in the White House again.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. It's like, the difference between the left and folks like you and I.
Yeah, I got to roll. But thank you. Listen, here's what I worry about, that we could be wrong and then it collapses. And then we have the darkest time of this country, I think, in maybe ever. I don't know. I'm being serious. Darkest is in what's going on and what's our future. I mean that. I'm very sorry. All right, we continue our coverage coming up next on 570 KLF, Dallas Fort Worth at 96.3, KSCS FM HD2 Fort Worth Dallas, and News Talk 820 WBAP Fort Worth Dallas and 93.3 FM WBAP Haltom City Dallas Fort Worth. And here's the deal. We have 4 lines open. I want to hear from you. I'm going to read you what AOC said tonight, what Hillary Clinton said tonight, and I actually will tell you what we do have. Actually, I have a time tomorrow for the press conference at Trump Tower, and I'm going to be talking about that coming up next. Do not miss any of this. That's next on the Chris Krok Show on KLF and WBAP. Trump says he'll speak at Trump Tower tomorrow. Ex-president and newly convicted felon, Fox News reports, will hold a press conference Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. our time. I know we're going to carry it live at Trump Tower. He added MAGA 2024. It's go to Joe in Arlington. You're on 570 KLF Dallas Fort Worth and 96.3 KSCS FM HD2 Fort Worth Dallas and News Talk 820 WBAP Fort Worth Dallas and 93.3 FM WBAP Haltom City Dallas Fort Worth. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Chris. By the way, it's Jovan, one name. But anyway, long time no talk. I've been about 5 months away taking care of my 93-year-old mom in South Texas and got back last month. So good to hear you.
Good to hear you.
Hey, but speaking of which, before I get to the comment, I literally switch back and forth from AM to FM, and I like your voice better on the AM.
Do you want me to? I can sing to you. I can whisper too, but yes.
You sound totally different on the FM. I'm like, who's that guy? What's this? Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, just I'll let you know that. So let's put aside the massive, crazy jury instruction that it's New York. It's not going to be a fair trial. After we hang up, I would like your thoughts on what you think, what you know so far, Trump's attorney could have, would have, should have, could have done, even though you're up against everything.
I'll tell you right now, not much at all, because the jury instructions were written in a way that there was going to be a conviction. And the other thing is, he whenever he would object, 90% of the time he'd be overruled, not sustained, and by Mershon. So I think it was rigged, and Mershon is rigged. I don't think Mershon was picked accidentally by chance, as they claim, because he did Steve Bannon's too. I mean, the whole thing's rigged.
Do you think
he's an acting judge? He's not even a sitting judge. He's an acting judge. Go.
True. Do you think he did a good enough job that's going to benefit us on the appeal? And I always say us.
Yes.
And that's what I was going to tell you that.
Yes.
Even though we need a speedy appeal to go to the Supreme Court, I would like to go the appellate route.
We will win. We will win, but not till after the election by January or later. It's really.
Right, but why? Well, what are your thoughts about going straight to the appellate instead of going to Supreme?
No, the appellate won't go through until after the election. The Supremes can get it done if they choose to take it within a month.
Okay,
maybe in a few weeks.
I was just thinking about trying to flush them out, because let's see if they
do both.
The same thing.
Do both. If the Supreme Court overturns it, then you're back and you're not a felon anymore.
What do you mean by that?
The Supreme Court can overturn it if he appeals to them for to get to. I'll explain more. I gotta go, but I'll explain next. I gotta roll by. All right, coming up next, we're gonna get into. I've got more audio for you that's of the reactions tonight, and from folks in our camp. I also will share with you what the Caitlin Collins leftist, CNN, and Rachel Maddow from MSNBC and the Biden campaign are saying tonight, and they're dancing on our graves tonight, including a listener of my show tonight. But that's fine. Enjoy. You ain't going to be saying that in November. You're going to be screaming. We're looking that's coming up next on the Chris Krok Show on 570 KLF Dallas Fort Worth and 96.3 KSCS FM HD2 Fort Worth Dallas and News Talk 820 WBAP Fort Worth Dallas and 93.3 WBAP FM Haltom City Dallas Fort Worth. .570 KLF, Dallas Fort Worth, 96.3 KSCS FM HD2 Fort Worth Dallas, News Talk 820 WBAP Fort Worth Dallas, and 93.3 WBAP FM. FM, and then Haltom City, Dallas Fort Worth. Okay, so Chris Krok Show, simulcasting till 10, and let's go to some audio from the media laughing over the verdict in the press conference with Alvin Bragg.
Last, Mr. Steinglass, many people said the prosecution was masterful and flawless. Just want to know how you feel at this moment. Sorry. I'll let you vent. How do you feel?
Mr. Steinglass, I think some of you probably saw him speak for a little bit the other day. So he's done his job.
Everybody's happy. They're laughing. The media's Democrat, a wing of the Democrat Party, their political wing, or excuse me, their media wing of the Democrat Party. Okay, so I want your reaction to this. Are you circling the wagon? Does this make you support Trump more and want to defend him more? And how do you feel about this verdict? Do you think this was a rigged case, as I do? And is this the end of our country? I think the legal system has been hurt so badly tonight. We've hurt this country so badly. And I pray we can get out of this, because it's going to be hard to turn this around from what these people have done to our country. They are so blind, and they're destroying this country. They're destroying this country. I am so sad. You know what I thought about? People that I love in my life, neighbors, friends, relatives that are rejoicing tonight over this. And I love them too much. I do not even want to broach it with them. I'm not going to change their mind. I don't want to argue with them. I want to have a relationship with them. And I already know some of them I know, or I haven't seen any, but they're going to be posting on Facebook and like, lock them up and stuff. It saddens me, and it's real scary and sad for me to see people that you and I love act like that. But I'm going to tell you, don't argue with them. You're not going to change their mind. It's really self-debasing to argue with somebody like that is in your family that you love. Just let it go. And help support the guy you want to win and what's right, and donate and drum up support, but don't argue with people. It's self-defeating, and you're embarrassing yourself. 800-288. Trump handled it the right way today, and he's going to handle it by beating the pants out of this guy. Joe Biden's so happy tonight. He thinks he's won now. And he doesn't want to admit this, but he needs this to win, but it's going to backfire. He is so happy. He doesn't want to admit that he has to cheat to win. Again, this time, he doesn't want to admit it, but he's so happy, and now he's preening. He's already preening. I got this. I won. I told you. Everything's fine now. He literally thinks he just won. Boy, is he in for a surprise, and then he's going to freak out and go nuts. He's going to be the one that has trouble leaving the office, not Trump. Andrew in South Lake, you've called in at 800-288-WBAP. We got 4 lines open right now. Chime in, 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Hi, Andrew.
Thanks for taking the call.
You're welcome.
I'm not someone who gets angry, but I'm angry. And I'm going to put as much money as I can in President Trump's pocket to help him get the word out and understand it. I call for everyone else, in the nation who believes in him and what he's done for our nation that he didn't have to do. He had a great life. He didn't have to do this.
Yes.
And I'm going to give him money. I call for other people to give him money, even if it's $10 a month. 100 million people.
I really agree with you. I agree with you, and this is the way to fight back, because this is a way to they were saying, the Republican folks today, the heads of the Republican Party were saying today that they're getting $1 million a day in donations, which is, apparently unheard of or really good. And so this is going to double, triple, quadruple it, I believe, and we need that, and we need him to have the tremendous advantage that overwhelms the Biden campaign with all the money they have, and then, of course, his truth, his justice. And the thing is this too, that people will think about their grocery prices, and I think about democracy or January 6th, and the average person knows this is a sham trial. This one, the other ones they might think maybe, but this one everybody knows is a sham, except for the hardcore leftists, which they're just happy, they're orgasmic today. So, but as far as everybody else, their groceries, their 401k, their jobs, their gas prices, their mortgage rates, their mortgage, housing affordabilities, rent, everything. This is what they care about, not this garbage, and they're angry about it, and Trump's the one to do it, and I think they're going to elect him because of this. I pray. But you never know. But I'm glad you donated. I'm going to put right now, donate. I'm going to tweet it out right now on my Twitter feed, at Chris Krok Show. That's at Chris Krok Show. Stand by, at Chris Krok Show. CHRISKROK. That's CHRISKROK. Go ahead real fast, Andrew. Go.
Thanks. I don't understand how anyone who's a patriot and believes in our country could see this as a good thing, and that they would see this as being a positive.
Can you see how somebody would rather have Joe Biden in office but would disagree with this, like you're saying you'd like them to? Because they don't like Trump, they like Democrat policies and stuff, but they think this whole thing that would happen today was bad. Could you see somebody being like that?
The way I was raised, I wouldn't be able to see it that way.
Well, that's actually I find that fine, but that's fine. But I want you to be able to see that there's somebody out there that still wants Biden but thinks this is wrong.
Exactly.
Jonathan Turley's one that does that. He will never vote for Trump. He doesn't like Trump's politics or anything, and he said it again today. But he's a stalwart with the truth and a lover of the Constitution. And that's why he's on Fox News, and that's why he's a contributor, because he actually says the truth, like Dershowitz does. And they're both liberal Democrats. They're not going to vote for Trump, but they will put their country over everything. And that's what a classic liberal is. and that's who we used to talk to a lot. And unfortunately, many of them have gone to left under Trump, but that's their fault, not Trump's fault. Jerry and Capel, you are on 570 KLIF Dallas Fort Worth and 96.3 KSCS FM HD2 Fort Worth Dallas, and News Talk 820 WBAP Fort Worth Dallas, and 93.3 WBAP FM Holton City Dallas Fort Worth. Hello, Jerry.
Well, hello. Thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome.
I was going to say that I am saying that this was the first time that I've ever actually been motivated to put money into a campaign. Good. And I put $100 in.
Good.
And I know that's not a lot.
No, that's a lot. That is a lot. I'm being serious. That is a lot. If everybody gave, or if one out of 100 people listening to it gave $100, it would blow up the doors of any day of regular fundraising. You know what I mean? It would blow up the doors. It's already going to today. Go ahead.
Well, that's just the first of it. I plan to continue to do so.
Good.
$100 here, $100 there. Pretty soon it'll add up to something.
Oh no. Again, you times a couple thousand in DFW and a couple thousand in San Antonio and a couple thousand in Austin, a couple thousand. Go ahead.
What astonishes me though is I've been paying, and I'm certainly no legal professional, but I've been paying attention to the trial, and it just seems like this judge and prosecutor are so corrupt that they ought to be able to be prosecuted for prosecutorial misconduct.
Yeah. Well, I think that I will tell you this: top Trump aide and possible vice presidential nominee Vance, for J.D. Vance from Ohio, senator, he actually officially pushed for, and I want to get, here we go, he is calling for a subpoena for Judge Juan Merchan in Congress, and I think you'll get that. So they're going to put him in front of it. They're going to grill him. They're going to put him under the spotlight, not because it's revenge, but because they're going to get everything out of this. They're going to find out and track down, because guess what else? We know this whole thing was orchestrated from the Biden and his Justice Department. This was his 51 former intel officials. That's what this was.
I have to tell you something. I really don't wish ill will on anybody, but these are two individuals that I would like to see do time in prison for what they've done to this country.
Who, Merchan and Bragg?
Yes.
Yeah, but would you want to be like them, though? And if it's not warranted, as far as, I'm not saying it isn't warranted, but if it's not warranted as far as if it was a legit investigation, not a retaliatory one, if it doesn't come up organically from the right people, would you really want to have that happen if it's not really looked at by legal minds that love Trump? And
no, I want it done by the book.
That's it. There you go. That's all I ask. That's all I ask.
But I want it done.
Well, I hope that happens. Well, that's what the subpoenaing is for. If they nail them, they can nail them. Jerry, thank you for your great call from Capel. And coming up next on our simulcast, one more segment together at 570 KLIF Dallas Fort Worth and 96.3 KSCS FM HD2 Fort Worth Dallas, and News Talk 820 WBAP Fort Worth Dallas and 93.3 WBAP FM Holton City Dallas Fort Worth. We continue in our great simulcast through 10, and then at 10 we peel off to WBAP for my solo show with you tonight, all the way through till midnight, where we pick up with Eric and Gary, my friends, and I fill in for them. I have for years on Red Eye Radio from Westwood One and WBAP, their homes before they went to Westwood One down the street from us. And so that is coming up next. I'm going to play you some more audio. I'm going to give you more reaction. I've got the leftist news, fake news, CNN and MSNBC. We'll talk about some of the reactions from there. And a real sweet little message from his daughter, Ivanka, who's been silent because she doesn't want to get involved in this stuff, which is fine, but she did tonight. She did something real sweet. I don't know if you caught what Tucker Carlson said in reaction to this. It's pretty serious and stunning, but I like what he said. That's all next on the Krok Show on 570 KLF Dallas Fort Worth and 96.3 KSCS FM HD2 Fort Worth Dallas and News Talk 820 WBAP Fort Worth Dallas and 93.3 WBAP FM Holton City Dallas Fort Worth. We're going to go to Fernando and Don and Cleburne and Fernando and Carrollton, plus your call. 3 lines open. Chime in right now. You're listening to 570 KLF Dallas Fort Worth and 96.3 KSCS FM HD2 Fort Worth Dallas and News Talk 820 WBAP Fort Worth Dallas and 93.3 WBAP FM Haltom City Dallas Fort Worth. All right, Tucker Carlson warns that Trump will win the election if he's not killed first. That's what he said, not me. As the guilty verdict marks the end of justice, he says, import the third world, become the third world. That's just what we saw. This won't stop with Trump. He'll win the election if he's not killed first, but it does mark the end of the fairest justice system in the world. Anyone who defends this verdict is a danger to you and your family, and he's right. He's right on that. I agree 110%. Biden campaign jumps on this. Grandpa was supposed to have a press conference today. You notice he didn't? He was in Delaware. Why did he announce? He literally announced yesterday, his team announced he was going to do a press conference today from the Oval Office. Somehow he knew the verdict would be today. Gee, he arranged the whole thing from the beginning. He told his number 3 in justice to leave and go work for Bragg. They counseled Bragg on how to rig this whole thing. They told Colangelo, the number 3 of justice who left to work to be the prosecutor under Bragg. They told him what to do, how to do it, and he told them, "Look, they're gonna come down with the verdict tomorrow. We already know everything's rigged. Everything's rigged." The jury, unanimous, 34 counts. Oh, this is amazing. Let justice roll down from the hills. Oh, if Dr. King were alive, be like, he's so proud that a white supremacist like Trump will be convicted. This is so filthy and sickening. But let me read on before we go to your call. 3 lines open, 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Lots of questions for you. I have a million but I'll just read off a couple to you to share with you that I've thought about today. Why do you think Biden bailed on Trump's verdict press conference today? Because I think he realized it was really bad. It was playing bad. It was really going to be bad for him doing this. He's such a fool, and he dodders left and right. He says, "I'm not going to do it," then he does it, and vice versa. That's who he is, and that's how he rolls. So this is perfect MO for him. And then, do you think the Supreme Court might overturn this shortly? Because if they can appeal on that, do an emergency appeal and say, "Hey, constitutional violation, boom, boom, boom," and here's why, all these different ones, and they might take it, they might not, or they might take it and say, "Nope, sorry," or they might take it and say yes, and it's thrown out. And have you lost faith in our legal system today, our country? Do you think Trump's going to end up winning on November 5th because of this? And here's my thought on that. I think yes. Right now, today, I think yes. There's a lot of people circling the wagon, a lot of money flowing in his pockets, even from people who normally wouldn't. But we never know. Don't take it for granted. Biden campaign said, convicted felon or not, Trump will be the Republican nominee for the president. There's still only one way to keep Donald Trump out of office, at the ballot box. And that's where you're going to fail, I think, strongly. All right, 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Fernando, Carrollton, you're on 820 AM WBAP. I should say 570 KLF, Dallas Fort Worth, and 96.3 KSCS FM HD2 Fort Worth, Dallas, and News Talk 820 WBAP Fort Worth, Dallas, and 93.3 WBAP FM Haltom City, Dallas Fort Worth. Fernando, hello.
Hey, Chris. It's we've talked before, Fernando.
Yeah, I love that name, Fernando. Yes.
Oh, gracias, amigo.
De nada, Fernando. Sí.
First of all, you got me so worked up as I'm waiting here.
I apologize.
You fired all these questions to me. But here's my main point I made earlier is that when my kids, and they're still, some of the ones 20 years old, when they're growing up, I'd always say, you said, hey, don't get depressed, don't argue, don't get in fights with
do not
with the other side,
including your kids if they disagree with you.
Yeah,
love them.
Oh, yep, my kids are awesome, by the way.
Good.
And I've always said, don't raise your voice, raise your argument. Okay, I've been paying attention. I think most folks are paying attention, and anyone that would dare to agree with this verdict today and or the whole premise of what's happening to Trump, first of all, is uninformed, has no clue what they're talking about. So right there, your argument's going to win every single time. So I think that we should get out there, state our case, state the facts, keep focused, and not be concerned about the fact that this happened today. I had to take a lot of deep breaths, do some mindset, And
I love what you're saying.
Upset about it.
I love how you're teaching your children. I love that you're saying raise the argument, not as in your voice, and that's exactly what we need to do. Well said, sir. Well played, Fernando. Love you, brother. Appreciate your call. Don in Cleburne, you're on 820 AM. I should say, I got to properly say this. You are on 570 KLF, Dallas-Fort Worth, and 96.3 KSCS FM, HD2, Fort Worth, Dallas, and News Talk 820 WBAP, Fort Worth, Dallas, and 93.3 WBAP FM, Haltom City, Dallas-Fort Worth. 30 seconds, go.
Yes, sir. I want to say, first and foremost, the earlier caller, yes, get them for prosecutorial misconduct and have Congress hold their feet to the fire,
yes,
follow through with it.
Yes.
And if they don't, it's time to remove New York as a state.
That's not going to happen.
Proven that they are.
You know what I thought about?
Corrupt.
Everybody should pull their business out of there that disagrees with this if they can. If they can't, they need to minimize everything. Everybody, like the NRA, all these people getting indicted by these idiots and brought into justice or sued, they all need to leave the state and don't do anything so they can't come after you. I literally think that's what they need to do.
Yes, boycott New York.
It's not even a boycott. It's I can't go there because they're going to prosecute me if I say the wrong thing. Make sense? That's my attitude. I thought about that today.
I agree.
I'm glad you brought it up. Thank you for your great call, Don. All right, join us next on WBAP, on News Talk 820 WBAP. I'm live there till midnight. Thank you for everything tonight. Thank you for the simulcast, 570 KLF, Dallas-Fort Worth, and 96.3 KSCS FM, HD2, Fort Worth, Dallas. Goes back to local programming with them. News Talk 820 WBAP, Fort Worth, Dallas, and 93.3 WBAP FM, Haltom City, Dallas-Fort Worth. We'll be live and local together next. Call in 800-288-WBAP.